Hey guys, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. And today we have kind of a last minute video. I had another video scheduled for today, but I decided to push it back because I remembered that today is the 2-year anniversary of this channel. December 28th, 2020 was when I uploaded my very first video to YouTube. And so, yeah, last night, one of my viewers and good friends, Chris Morgan, commented on a video I made a long time ago. He was going back and watching some of my older stuff. And, hi, Chris. And that got me just looking through, the history of my channel, looking at some old videos, and I realized, hey, tomorrow, the 28th, is the 2-year anniversary. And so I figured I'd make this video because anniversaries are to be celebrated, right? But, yeah, there's going to be noises in the background. It's still the holidays. We've got a house full of people, so you're going to hear stuff in the background. So, just be aware of that. And this is probably going to be a pretty quick video because I'm actually getting ready to head outside hunting. A couple of you will remember several weeks ago at this point, I posted a short about some little goat kids we had born. Well, one of them got grabbed by coyotes, and they've been bad the last couple of days. We've seen, 2 nights ago, there was 3 of them just right outside our house about 10 o'clock at night, and I got out and shot at them, and, it was too dark to really hit anything, but yeah, so today I'm going to go see if I can call any coyotes in up in the hills and pop, 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 making coyotes drop. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing after this, but I want to get this filmed real quick. So, the origin of my channel, I think, is very similar to that of a lot of other channels that are around right now. Let's start with how I got into the hobby. I've always loved knives since I was a kid. Always loved knives, but I wasn't really into the enthusiast part of the world until I got into college. And then I started watching, my first year of college, I started watching like Nick Shabazz and Slicey Dicey and Metal Complex and stuff. And I started a Instagram page just to, post knife pictures on and stuff. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? Let's make YouTube videos. I'll be the next Nick Shabazz, right? And so that's what I did. It was something to just kind of, pass the time with. And it took a little bit for me to get the channel going. I was a little bit nervous, to be honest with you. And the very first knife I ever reviewed was the Syncut Scepter, which I have right here. At the time, it was not blue. I have since dyed it. It was brown micarta. I've since dyed it blue. I carried it a lot, and micarta got like really gross, and so I dyed it, and that seems to have fixed the problem. But this knife was new at the time, and so I bought it, and I was like, you know what? I will review this new relevant knife, and get all kinds of views. And that video actually did fairly good at the time. I think right now it's sitting at 157 views, which, for my very first video, that's not bad. But when I first started this channel, some of you will remember I had this red background, and what that was a red shirt I had. So when I first started filming, with the whole pandemic, I came home from college and stuff, and I started filming in here at the home place at the ranch, what we call the ranch headquarters. They have this big window that faces to the west, and so at certain times of the day, the sunlight coming through there is really, really good. It took me a little bit to figure out lighting and stuff. But my first set, I took this little plastic table, and I put this red shirt on there, and I weighed down all the corners with different items, and that was my background. And then for my stand, I had this selfie stick. I had this big styrofoam cube. I stuck the selfie stick in the cube and set it on a chair, and then had it like pointed over the table, and that would hold my phone. And yeah, it was a real janky operation. But it worked, and honestly, some of those red background videos looked pretty good. Um, and then after that, next school semester started up, and I was living by myself in this little tiny apartment, and all of my classes were online except for one. It was a chemistry lab, and my parents told me like, yeah, if all your classes are online, just be home. Just do your classes online here. I was like, yeah, but I've got this chemistry lab I've got to be here for. And it's you know many hours between school and home, so I couldn't commute. So I'm living in this little apartment. I had a roommate for a while, but that that didn't last very long. He kind of disappeared. Um, but I remember, gosh, that was such a rough time. I was so depressed. I mean, I didn't. Gosh, I very rarely saw any other people. I'd go on these walks all the time, and everything was just dead. And kind of in middle of pandemic, yeah. And that was a time where my channel had the blue background, if you guys remember that. And that was a desk I had in my apartment that had like this weird linoleum type stuff as a surface, but it had a light above it. It had like a built-in light. That this desk was like built into the wall. There's a shelf above it, and there's a light right there, an LED light. And so I was like, hey, this is a perfect spot to film because I've got a light there, and there's a window off to the side, just like right here, so I could open the window and get more light in. And back then on the channel, I wasn't showing my face. I decided I didn't want to show my face. I was still doing the cutting footage, like cutting footage stuff, but I do it like super close so you guys couldn't see my face. And I, still trying to figure out what I wanted to do, how I was going to run the channel and stuff. And really, really some low quality videos. But I still remember the video where I first showed my face, and it was an accident. It was a QSP Hawk review. And that day, I remember that day so vividly. During the pandemic, I'm living in this little apartment. Finding jobs wasn't happening, right? And so I got this, I started working this pyramid scheme. Honestly, I got entrapped in this little pyramid scheme thing, and I made a bunch of money, like in the first 2 weeks, as you do with most pyramid schemes, and then it just went down. And I remember I had my classes that day on Zoom, and then I had a meeting with my boss from that pyramid scheme. And I remember he just chewed me out. Man, he just ripped me a new one for some reason. I can't remember what it was. But afterwards, I remember sitting back. I turn off my computer. I'm just sitting there. I just feel awful. I haven't talked to face-to-face to another human in weeks. I've been living in this little crummy apartment. I've been living off of ramen and Nutri-Grain bars. And I cut up a lot of Nutri-Grain boxes. I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I just feel awful. I was like, you know what? Let's film a video. And so I started filming the cutting for the QSP Hawk, and like my apartment was all dark at the time. And I went to turn on the lights while the camera was still rolling and showed my face, and I was like, oh no. But at that point, I was like, I don't care. Whatever. They know what I look like now. And so I uploaded it. And that's kind of been the biggest thing with this channel for me, is it's been just a really nice hobby, an escape from things. And a lot has happened since I've had this channel. A lot has gone on in my personal life, the pandemic, school. I've lost a lot of people that were very close to me. I broke up with a girl who at the time I thought was the love of my life. We've been together for several years, and then it fell apart. And I've talked before on this channel about struggling with mental health and getting help for that. And so through all this stuff that goes on, I mean, it's just life, right? It's life. Everyone has ups and downs. And through all of the downs, this channel has really been a great place for me to just escape for a little bit, just talk about a knife, say some dumb stuff, and call it a day, right? But I'm eternally grateful for that, right? Like sometimes just being able to turn your brain off and do something simple and dumb, that's a huge relief. It's a blessing. And I do put, a lot of effort into this channel. I want to give you guys, really good reviews. I want to make sure that I've got good audio and visuals and stuff like that. And I've got really crappy materials, but hey, I try and make do. And it's really fun. And one of the best things about it is getting to know all of you guys. And in the last couple of months, I mean, the channel has exploded. We hit 1K. That's fantastic. It really means a lot to me. And getting to know all of you guys, all the different friends I've made through this channel has been just fantastic. Um, I used to be one of those people who thought that having like an online friend, online relationships was meaningless. It was shallow. It was fake. But again, being a young 20-year-old with no social life during the pandemic, I was very lonely, and I realized that there is a lot of meaningful connections you can make with people and never see them face to face. A lot of you guys, I mean, I've made so many so many friends through doing this. Mike over at Sharp and Blade, great guy. We text on Instagram a lot. Absolutely love him to death. Fantastic friend. Reggie, old Tonto guy, he's been a huge support to the channel, been a great friend, has done a lot for me, even beyond just sending knives and stuff to review. He's been a really great support. All of you commenters that I see all the time, Mab Guy, Chris Morgan, John Rost, there's so many of you that I genuinely enjoy interacting with and talking to. And even now, the pandemic's kind of over. My life is shaping up a little bit more, I've been involved in a lot of, work and school. I've got, lots of colleagues and friends that I'm interacting with. But it still means a lot to me that you guys are still here, right? And so, yeah, this channel is not going anywhere. I'm going to keep doing this as long as it's fun for me. And I hope you guys have enjoyed, because I really enjoyed doing this stuff, and I've really enjoyed seeing the progression of the channel from the red shirt background to the probably way too cluttered dinosaurs and rocks in the background video. Um, you know, and then seeing how I've gotten better at presenting myself on camera. You know, uh, it's really been good for me. I've done a lot of growing as a person while I've had this channel. I mean, yeah, just 2 years. That's not very much, but holy cow, a lot has happened for me in those 2 years. And a lot of that growing has happened, with just life externally, but a lot of that growing has been directly related to this channel. And I appreciate it a lot. It's been really fun, and it's going to keep going. So, that's probably it for today. Just wanted to, I don't know, give a little update on the, I'm not sure what this was. Happy 2 years to me. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully we can keep this channel going for 2 more years. But anyways, Gideon out.